When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
Hi everyone, I'm Deb Flashenberg. Welcome to Yoga, Birth, Babies, a podcast produced by Prenatal Yoga Center. We will be diving into everything prenatal yoga, birth, and baby related, hoping to inspire, educate, and empower you through your journey into motherhood. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Deb Flashenberg, and I'm your host of Yoga Birth Babies. And today we have a community birth story. You've heard me say this every time that we do a community birth story. I love these. I love hearing the story and the journey from students that have come through our center. And I just love hearing different stories. People say every birth is different, and it's so true. While there are similarities between just the structure of birth, every story is different, and every story has something that we can learn from and be encouraged from and find a sense of empathy from. And I'm so excited for you to hear this story. So this is Srilaya. I'm going to totally butcher her last name. Let's see if I can try it. Yallapragada. I have to tell you guys, I practiced saying these names before the intro. Srilaya Yallapragada. So Srilaya is one of the PYC students, but let me tell you a little bit about her background. She is a software engineer who recently moved to New York from California during her pregnancy. And she goes into that story and shares so just openly about moving in the middle of pregnancy, finding a care provider, accepting the care provider, finding struggles trying to communicate with her care provider, and most importantly, finding community that supported her during this transition. And she also shares her beautiful birth story. Spoiler alert, and I won't give too much, but towards the end, oh my goodness, when she shares about her baby's birth, you can hear the joy dripping from her voice. And I just envisioned just the excitement and happiness that she experienced. And it's infectious. You're going to listen to this and feel that same excitement. And if you're pregnant, hopefully that excitement helps you feel even more excited about your upcoming birth. And if you're anxious, maybe this will give you a sense of the possibility of what's to come. So I'm really excited for you to hear this birth story. Now, before we get to Srilaya's birth story, I always love to give updates about what's happening at Prenatal Yoga Center. So as we record this, we're actually recording it in October, we just made a huge transition in our software system. We were with MindBody for, 14 years. We just changed to Moments. So I want to thank our community that helped us through some of the bumps of transitioning. So I just wanted to give a public thank you to them. And that is what's been going on at PYC. We've made this huge transition. Now, everything on our website is more or less the same, but things should be easier to register for classes. So you can check out our in-studio, our online, our on-demand classes, all of our workshops, our teacher training, our past podcasts, our blogs, everything's on the website. We also have a ton of free downloadables that you can enjoy and a bunch of free videos. So feel free to take some time, kind of scurry around our rather huge website, because I have, I think, over 400 podcast episodes on there and over 400 blog entries. So you can spend some time educating and learning and just having some fun. So prenatalyogacenter.com is where you can find all that. And then another big thank you to those that have written in and give me ideas for podcasts because, as I mentioned, 400 episodes. Sometimes it's nice for some fresh ideas. So thank you for those that have reached out with ideas, as well as those that have filled out the application to be on the podcast. So thank you. And also a thank you to those who have left a rating and review. It may sound so silly, but it really does help people find us. So if you have a moment, please leave a rating and review for Yoga Birth Babies. All right. I think that's enough from me. We're going to take a super quick break. When we come back, please enjoy Srilaya's birth story.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, "From Walmart? Who knew?" Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Hi, Srilaya. How are you?
Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm always so touched when one of the students says, like, yes, I'll share my birth story, because it's such a personal thing. And yet the student community gains so much from understanding and hearing so many different stories. So I really appreciate your time.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if I wanted to share with someone, it would be you, because I really love Prenatal Yoga Center. You really made a lot of difference in my pregnancy. I never probably met you and said that. So this is me giving you a shout out. Like, it's a very nice, beautiful community. And I was kind of lost when I joined the PYC group, but then my pregnancy has been so nice, the rest of it, and still I'm still going there, guys, for postpartum.
I know, I think for postnatal tomorrow.
And I went with my baby too, last week, and it was so much fun.
Oh, you did the baby and me. Isn't that fun?
That's
I'm so
fun.
glad. Oh, I'm so glad that you're able to continue being part of the community, and you're really going to forever be evergreen in the community, because your story will continue to live on. Our podcast is 8 or 9 years old, and we still have podcasts. So your child will be heading into middle school and can go back
so much fun.
I know, it's going to be so fun. So let's start with just sharing a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to share.
Yes, I am a software engineer by profession. I am almost 38. So we used to live in New York before we moved to California, and we were living in San Jose for about 2.5 years. That's when I got pregnant. But when we moved back to New York, because we just wanted to live in the city, I was almost, 4 months pregnant. So that was that. I had to switch providers, find new doctor for myself, and all that.
So that must have been challenging, moving back to the city at 3 or 4 months pregnant, and then not having community. And did you have family here?
No.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I had family back in San Jose, but I moved away from my family. So that was more challenging and more emotional and everything, together. This is my first baby.
Yeah.
So I absolutely knew nothing about anything.
How did you find your care provider?
Yeah. So when I was in California, I just randomly, I started searching, doctors in New York. And I was I think, already 12 weeks pregnant at that time. And I think we got to know that we'll move to California when I was about a month pregnant or something. But I did not reach out to any provider at that time, because I was not in New York, and obviously they don't see you until you're 10 weeks pregnant usually. So I was and I needed to see a doctor where I was living, right? So I was finding my doctor there. I was going there. I first asked them for any recommendation if they know anyone in New York, but my doctor there said she doesn't know anybody. So then I had to just search randomly. I didn't even know how many hospitals are there and where do people go. So, and many of my friends are not having any baby, they don't have any babies. So I was reaching out to people whom I know who had babies and kind of asking, where do you go? Which hospital, etc. And we didn't know at that time where we'll live. So we were considering Upper West Side, but we weren't sure where we will live. So which hospital is closer and all that.
That sounds like it was overwhelming. I can imagine.
It was a lot.
And I know one thing you put in the intake form was not having a lot, as you shared, not having a lot of experience in understanding childbirths. And so will you share a little bit about what you carried into your pregnancy and birth experience, what you'd heard about what to expect, and then what some of your own fears around childbirth was? Because if you hadn't had people around you, it could
Yeah.
definitely feel overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, like I had like no idea about induction and like C-section or like natural delivery. And my sister has two kids, and both her deliveries were normal deliveries, like vaginal births. So, I mean, yeah, there was nothing much, I mean, no challenges. I could listen from her experience. And that's the only person I know who has been like, so close with me that I can like talk about all this stuff with her. So I was like, yeah, I was like kind of lost. And another thing was like, all the symptoms, right? Morning sickness and all that. So fortunately, I had nothing. Like mostly my pregnancy was super nice. My baby has been like so nice with me since I conceived him. But I had a lot of bloating and, like just, constipation and stuff and like just in general. And another problem was I was in West Coast, right? So I had like 3 hours of time difference. So I had to like wake up early to kind of call all these providers and, explain them my situation that I'm not there right now, but, I would love to see when I was moving. I think I was 17 weeks pregnant when I was moving here. And many doctors don't like even see you if you're more than 15 weeks pregnant. So many like people didn't take me in. So I had like, and then honestly, I don't know if this is a good idea or bad idea. I created an account in Reddit, and I was going through Reddit to kind of understand what people think, where do they go and stuff. So I heard a lot about, like good things, bad things about different providers, different hospitals. So I was like very all over the place, like thinking, oh my God, will I have a place to deliver my baby? Like, is it that difficult to get a doctor? And, all those questions were like just killing me.
Were you finally happy with who you chose?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the provider was like, she was very like in and out kind of, provider. So I had like a lot of questions, and because it's my first pregnancy, I was like, why is this? What is that? But like especially towards the end, like how will it happen? Like, I mean, like you heard a lot about it, right? What is like water breaking? What is this? What is that? Should I do pelvic exercises? Should I do this exercise or like what? And so I had like so many questions, and every time I would ask, she would be like yes or no kind of, answer. So I was like, again, I was very like overwhelmed throughout the time until I gave birth. Is like how it's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, will she be there for me, and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I delivered in Mount Sinai West, just for context, and it was an amazing experience. Like it was so good. Everybody was very nice to me, and paperwork, everything was like really quick.
So when you're asking these questions to your doctor, because it makes complete sense that you are thirsty for information, it's a big transformation happening. Did she ever point you in the direction of like taking a childbirth education class?
No, actually, she told me like it's not really required. I asked her once, like, I'm planning to take a, childbirth education class. Do you recommend any like, places? Because there are a lot of places which offer that. She was like, oh, that's not really required. Actually, it's like simple. Like, if you're walking and you can't talk anymore, or you're like breathing heavily, that means you're in labor. Like, like if your water broke, that's a clear sign. But like, if I call you and you're able to talk to me, you're not in labor, so you don't have to worry. That's the only information she gave me. So I was like, okay. But I did end up taking a birthing class, and it was the most informational thing ever. Everybody should take it if you are having the baby for the first time, I feel.
Yes, I'm going to say that as well. I'm going to say yes. I'm so glad that I'm going to endorse that statement. I mean, I'll be fully honest. I am a childbirth educator, and obviously at PYC, we're all about education, but you can't really be part of the conversation and make decisions if you don't understand what you're talking about. So I'm so glad that you didn't take that advice and be like, oh, because honestly, this is going to sound wacky. As a doula, and I haven't attended births in years, but I attended over 100. And I had some clients that we're talking. I remember one in particular, this woman, Sarah, she was like 9 centimeters, and you
Oh,
would not
wow.
have known that from how she was talking. She was still in the waiting room at that time.
Oh
So
my God.
the reason I bring this up is because we can't make such blanket statements because everyone's different, and you won't know that if you
Yeah.
don't take a childbirth class. So I'm going to take myself off the pedestal and bring myself back. But thank you for sharing that. And thank you for taking that childbirth ed. I'm sure that probably helps. So let's actually dive into that. So I know, as we said, you've had some concerns. You're worried about induction. How did taking the childbirth ed class impact some of your decisions? And I know induction was a concern.
Yeah. Oh my God. I spent so many nights worrying about this. So, because so this is what happened. My doctor suggested that she will induce. This is like in the 3rd trimester, right? When you have a discussion, like, how is it going and all that. Most of the appointments were like kind of real quick. Nothing happens in these appointments. They just see you. Everything is fine. And even the MFM was like better because you can actually see what's going on with your baby. But usually the OB/GYN appointments are like pretty simple. They just ask you if you're having any issues and all that. So in these appointments in the 3rd trimester, we were almost towards the end. So the plan was like, if I don't get labor by like week 39, she was going to induce me. I don't know what induce is at this point, right? I mean, one day she just told me this, maybe like a 28-week appointment or something. So, she asked me, do you want to have a medicated birth or no? And in my mind, I was going to have a medicated birth because why would I not? I heard a lot about it, and everybody I know had taken epidural, and everybody was fine, and like everybody said, like just gave me this advice that I should take it. So I wasn't too worried about like not taking it, or I didn't even dive into like unmedicated birth versus medicated birth. Like, why should I not choose? So I didn't spend too much time in investigating that. So I decided to take the epidural. I said, yeah, I mean, I'll take the epidural. That's what I'm thinking. And she said, okay, then like week 39, if you're not like in labor yet, I'm going to induce you, and you're going to have a baby at that time. And I was like, okay, but like, why? And she said, oh, you are over 35. And, there are 2 points. She said, you're over 35, and it's advisable for women like older, like to have, been given birth before 40 weeks. And 2, she said, by the 39th week, the baby is almost like, done growing in your womb. They have gotten all the benefits that they need. And if they don't come out, they keep growing bigger every other week. So, at 40 weeks, they'll be much bigger. And then the rate of the chances of you not having a vaginal delivery will increase, and like you will probably have to go C-section. And she just
said
like left it.
She said you'd probably have a C-section if you waited.
I mean, she said like that's the kind of like stat.
Wow. Okay.
Like it might happen, but it can not happen also. Like she was like not really. She was just said all this in one sentence, and she was
Right.
like, "Any questions?" I was like,
Yes.
I mean,
You're like, yes,
I kind of do, but at that time I was like intimidated by her. Honestly, I don't know why, but being not a scientific, not a doctor actually, and I'm a software engineer. My world is like kind of different, so I have no idea what she said is like, how to like unpack that, right? I mean, at that time I was like, okay, I said okay for everything, and then I was looking at my husband like. He had no idea either, right? I mean, we come out and like of the office, and I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean by like, induce? Like, first of all, like, I said, like, what is induce? Like, what does induce mean?" She said, "It's nothing. It's you. They give you a medicine, and your cervix opens, and then the baby will come out, something like that." I was like, "What medicine is it? Like a tablet? Is it like an injection? What is it?" She was like, "Oh, they put something in the IV, and like that's it. Your cervix opens up." Like really, I mean, that's the amount of information I got from that sentence, and I was like all over the place. I was like, "Do I like?" And this was week 28, right? I mean, I don't think you can switch providers after week 32. So I was thinking, should I switch provider because I don't understand what she's saying, and probably she has like limited time. I understand that because doctors are like hot commodity in the city, and there are a lot of people who are like pregnant and are giving birth. I understand that, but I honestly didn't know how to like dig in more to so that I can feel at peace, right? So obviously I was researching in Google and like asking here and there and like people who have done it. But I again shout out to the community at PYC, that there is a WhatsApp group which I joined, where there were women, people who were coming to the yoga class, right? There were so many people who were ahead of me. So I was able to talk to them, like, what are you doing? Like, are you getting induced? Like, what is your opinion? Many people many people wanted a planned C-section, like there are different people who want different things. So I was trying to understand like everybody's perspective and kind of understand like what I want to do. So that really helped me. But yeah, from the doctor's side, like this was my situation. I'll pause here before if you have any other questions.
I do. I do. So did you stay with that doctor?
I did.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to again switch provider, because as I told you earlier, when I moved to New York, I did a lot of research and like she took me in, and there were other couple doctors who also could take me in. That's not the problem, but like I was just exhausted. I didn't want to like stress out about things at the end of the pregnancy for something that might not happen. Like many of my friends said, she won't even be there on your birth, because if she's not on call at that time, she will not be the one delivering your baby. So like, just take it chill. Like, but it's very hard actually, to just not do anything and like not get into the, all this fear.
I think one of the things that I'm hearing, and again, it's easy for me to be kind of like a backseat driver here, but what I'm sad that the provider didn't seem to have empathy of, well, this is something the provider does day in and day out. You're a first-time parent. You're asking questions, and they simplified induction so much that it didn't really give you all the details about the pros and cons, what is appropriate, when is appropriate, what you're like. It just seems a little dismissive and not taking into account the anxiety a first-time parent has, and that you were literally like, tell me about it. So that just makes me a little sad.
Oh my God, it was so bad. Like I would wake up in the night and honestly, I would like ask ChatGPT to draft like a thing for me so that I can write it to her, because I cannot say to her face that, I'm not getting it, or like, I'm like kind of worried about this. And one day I wrote a big message in the chat, like, this is it. I am like worried. I don't want to get induced, or I want to get induced. I don't know, I'm not very sure. So blah, blah, blah. And like, her reply was, yeah, sure. Next time you come in, let's talk about it. And it was it. And I was like, but I already talked about it. Like, what else can I like ask you?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's hear how your birth unraveled. All right. We'll take a super quick break. We'll be right back.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Okay, we're back. So I guess the question in my mind to start the birth story is, were you induced?
Actually, I was. Yes, I was induced.
All right, so I'm just going to hand you the mic. Let the story unfold.
So this is how it went. My labor, I'll just begin with that. This was when I was 37 weeks. and 6 days pregnant. And I had an appointment that day with my OB, and like I was going to go in. But at around like 1 p.m. and I was still working. I didn't even like start my maternity break. But thankfully I was at home and I didn't go into the office. I mean, I have the option to work from home. So I was working from home, and I took a nap at like 1 o'clock or something for like 20 minutes. And then at 1:30, I used the bathroom, and like I saw like like blood. So I was like, I'm very scared because although, yes, I didn't take the class and everything, I knew everything, but I was still worried, like, is it it? Is it not? There are so many questions. And I was like all nervous, all over the place. And my OB told me to call them as soon as I see something or like feel something. So I was calling their office like frantically, like what to do. And I also called my husband, and all this was happening. So finally they picked up, they confirmed that it is labor and I should go and get admitted. So this is when we left for the hospital. And we got admitted and everything. It was like my motor had broken, and like it was I was in labor, but I was not feeling any pain, any contractions or anything. So I was like not sure what, like, because I understood that you'll have pain, and like there will be some pain. You'll have to wait until it's 5 minutes apart, 4 minutes apart. That's what they tell you in the class, and like that's what you read. But that was not happening with me. Just my water broke and nothing else. I was not feeling anything else. But anyway, so we went to the triage. They were quick in like assessing me, and they told me that yes, it is like labor and I need to get admitted. And then this was like, by this time already it was like 5 p.m. This was on 16th of July. My baby was born on 17th July. So 16th of July, 5 p.m. triage is done. They gave us our room. And that's when my contractions kind of started. So my idea to get the epidural was like, I wanted to actually, so the whole point why I did not want to get induced is I wanted to experience the labor, like I wanted to feel that my baby is ready to come out before like anybody else decides that. And I don't know why that's what I wanted. Because it's his like wish. That's what I felt. But I understand like there are other medical reasons people would want to, have surety that this is the day their baby's born. Or like I understand there was also like anxiety around like, what if you don't get into labor at week 40, like at week 42. I've heard like stories around that, and there are many people who go that far, and it's kind of hard, right? I mean, you are in your third trimester, you don't know when it's going to happen, but you're waiting, and it keeps going. In my mind, I was going to go until 40 weeks, so I was not at all expecting this. So I was like kind of shocked that this happened at 37 weeks, 6 days. And so that's why I was like not wanting to get induced. So I was like hoping that I'll get into labor and everything will happen as I don't even like as expected. Mm-hmm. Because also with the induction, the Pitocin, that is a medicine, but about that there is a ball like Foley ball or something, which nobody told me about until I got that class. Like I went to the class. So in the class, for people who don't know, they show you what the ball is and like, how they use it and all that stuff. It's super, super informative, right? I mean, because when somebody told me there is a ball which goes into your vagina, I was like thinking of a literal ball. Right? I was like,
you're like, how big is this ball?
Yeah,
it's like a little balloon. It's like a little balloon that helps dilate. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like a big balloon, like birthday balloon, guys. It's like a small balloon, because that's what I thought it was. And so I was like kind of scared that this will happen, that will happen, and before epidural, and everybody suggested me take the epidural before you get induced. So I wanted to feel the pain. I wanted to like know what labor is, because everybody does. My mom felt it, and I wanted to like know how it feels like, I guess, but it's not good. For people who don't know, it was so painful. It was so painful. But thanks so much for the breathing exercises you teach us in the yoga class again. Again, shout out to you.
Thank you.
The breathe in, hold it, and, exhale, like breathe in, hold it, exhale. Like I was doing this like ridiculously, like I don't know how many number of times for about 4 hours. And I was like exhausted. I was tired because it is difficult to, keep doing that. And especially when you don't know the pattern yet. At this time, I was like my contractions were not like paced. They were all over the place. So I would be talking fine with my husband, and just suddenly like this wave would come, and it will be like I'll be like blank. I am non-responsive because it's so painful. So this went on for like about 4 hours, and at 9 o'clock or something in the night, I decided to take the epidural. So I asked my nurse to like tell the anesthesiologist to please come in and give me the epidural. And I think they came around like 10 p.m. and then they ask you a lot of questions, right? Like, I mean, are you okay with this? I was like, yes for everything. I was not even like process what they were telling me. I was like, yes, please give it to me. It's so painful. Once I got that, I was like at ease. Like, it's like I was getting the contractions, I was feeling it, but it was so mild and it was so manageable, and I was able to sleep through it. So that was huge because till now I was just not even able to sleep. So then I was at this point, right? I was 3 centimeters dilated. When I got admitted, I was like 3 centimeters dilated. So I was basically just 3 centimeters dilated all this time. Nothing happened. There was no progress.
Well, your cervix might have effaced. Baby might have come down a little. So sometimes more happens than just dilation. So just giving your body a shout out that is strong chance things are happening without dilation.
I think they told me I was like 50% something effaced. But yeah, I mean, given like 3 centimeters and you have to go till 10 centimeters, I was like, oh, I have the whole night. I can at least sleep through the night. And I was thinking like in the morning, probably I'll be dilated. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head. So I was like, okay, let me sleep peacefully now. Because I am under the drug and everything feels good. So I just took a nap, and at around like 12 a.m., I think, my nurse came in and she said like, so they wanted me to induce at that time because my water had broken. So when your water has broken and you're already exposed, the baby's at the risk of like infection. So they want you to, they want to have the delivery quicker rather than you just waiting. So this is what they told me. So then I said like after epidural, you can give me the drug. Because obviously I didn't want to feel that balloon thing going inside. I don't even know if they did the balloon thing because I was like out after the epidural. So at 12 or 12:30 a.m. something, they did the Pitocin in the IV, and I didn't even feel anything. It was absolutely like, it was so easy actually. I mean, and I don't know why I spent like so many sleepless nights thinking about it, but it was not that bad. That's all I wanted to say. But I was happy with how it happened, and I could feel the pain. I could experience it, the labor and everything. So I was okay with that. So once they gave me, at that time also I was 3 centimeters dilated. So even like by 12 a.m., I was the same. Yeah, maybe I must have effaced. I don't remember that. So yeah, after that I just took a nap, and around I think 2:30 a.m. My nurse came in. Like, so when you're admitted, they give you like these monitors, right? Fetal monitor and this contraction monitor. There is a lot of stuff on your stomach and like everywhere, so you can hardly like sleep to one side, and then if you move, then the monitor moves. So it was like very difficult for them to keep track of the baby's heartbeat. So they like, as soon as something happens, they would like, there are 10 people coming in thinking like something has happened, and they'll move around the monitor. And so that's what was happening with me. And they were not able to get the heartbeat. So everybody was worried. So they told me that there is another kind of monitor which goes inside your vagina, and they can stick it to the scalp of the baby. And they can monitor like that if I was okay with that. So I was like, okay, like I'm fine with that, if that makes your life easier. So before doing that, they wanted to check the cervix again, and by that time when they checked the cervix, I was 10 centimeter dilated, and that was like, crazy.
Skip like that, you don't need that.
Yeah,
the baby's coming.
And the lady who, like the nurse who was checking me, all this while there was this single nurse who would come in and check how much centimeters I'm like dilated. She was like, she's like fully dilated. I was like, maybe she's not talking about me, right? Because I was just 3 centimeters. Maybe she's talking about some other patient. She then looked at me. She was like, you are fully like, I was like, what do you mean by fully? Like 10 centimeters? She's like, yeah, 10 centimeters. I was like, what? It's only like 3 hours. Like, not even 3, actually. It was just 2 hours. I was like, wow, the drug worked so much. Like, that is crazy. And then I don't know if it happens with everybody, but for me, it just happened so quickly. And they were like, you need to get ready to push and we need to call your doctor. Because until then, I had not seen my doctor at all. And this was not the provider I had gone to because she was not on call that day. So I don't even know which doctor is coming because I've never met them. So I was like, what's happening? Like, that was the moment, like, you realize like it's happening. They said you're going to have a baby in like, looking at your condition, maybe like in 10 minutes or something. I was like, what? Because I've heard like you push for hours and, one of my friends was in labor for like 3 days or something, so I had all this in my picture in my mind. That it's that long, that, that difficult, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it just happened like that. So I was like, okay. And then, so my labor was so short that my doctor couldn't even make it to my delivery. The resident nurse and all the group of nurses and the students who were there, they all were there. They delivered my baby.
Wait, so there was no OBGYN or midwife?
No, there was no doctor.
How much did you push?
That was also very, very nice, I should say. I pushed for like 10 minutes, honestly. Probably 10 to 15 minutes is what I remember. So my baby was born at 3:13, and this is like all this conversation happening at 2:30, and by 2:45 they brought me like that, they pull out the bed, they ask you to scoot down and all that. They get the mirror. I wanted to have a mirror. And so this is just simple, right? They say like, take a deep breath, and they'll count for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you have to like keep pushing at that time. You have to hold for like 10 seconds and like you have to push how much ever you can. And they were so nice that they were coaching me so well. They were cheering for me, and like that's the best like few moments of my life, I would say. It was so much fun. They were like so encouraging, and like and I had a mirror, right? And after like I think I pushed 2 times. So this happened. So 3 pushes in 1 cycle is what they were doing, and I was able to feel when I was getting the contractions. So I would tell them that this is happening. I think I'm getting the contractions. They will then start that cycle of like, take a deep breath, count for 10, hold it, and then push, with all that you have. And then that's what I was doing. And I did this 3 times for 3 times. And he was out. I could see his head in the second time when I was pushing. I was like, holy shit, is this happening? And my husband like kind of lost it. He saw him because he was able to see his head coming out. I couldn't see that though.
The mirror wasn't angled for you to see?
Yeah, because there are so many people in the room that they were covering the mirror.
I
was like, can you move? But I was like kind of all over the place, right? They're also helping me to coach. Like, so I was like, can you move? But like nobody was listening to me. And then I was trying to look at it, but I also had to push. And then contractions were coming. There was a lot going on in those few minutes. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'll just see the baby and I'll just keep pushing. But it was like by the end of the 3rd push, he was out. Like there was somebody who was there to catch him. And I was seeing like, they were like, will you catch him? I was like, okay, she's catching. Okay, what's happening? And then he was out and they put him on your chest. I was like, what? What is this? Is it real? Like, it's a whole baby, and you kind of spend 9 months thinking about them, like feeling them inside your stomach. And then they're out. They're real. He was real. He was in front of me. He had like eyes. He had hands, and all that stuff. It was just such a precious moment. Now he's 3 months old, sitting in my lap right now and nursing. It's unreal.
Oh, what a beautiful, happy moment. I can like hear the joy. And it is surreal. It is totally surreal. I was like, you're out. You're real. What? Yeah. I'm a mom now.
That was like, oh my God, like I have to take care of him now. That was like my first thought. Oh my God, he's out, and like it's beginning. Like the parental journey is here. And he was still attached to my placenta. He was still with the cord, and like then they did cut the cord. And thankfully, my husband captured that moment, like when he was born. And I was crying, and then the nurses were so nice. They took a video of us cutting the cord. I keep replaying it all the time because it's the most like precious moment of my life. It's very like, very emotional, very magical, everything.
That is so beautiful. I'm just so drinking in your joy. It is absolutely amazing. So tell me, how has postpartum been?
Oh, it's completely different game. I mean, yes, everybody told me. Oh, sorry, one minute. Shh. Everybody told me enjoy your pregnancy because, postpartum is kind of hard. Sorry, 1 minute.
Yeah,
Let me classify him. Yeah. Sorry, I'm back. This is what postpartum is, guys. It's unpredictable. It's like you can't plan anything at all. And the moment you think you got it, there is something else to surprise you. And it keeps happening. It's only 3 months, though. And people tell me it's only going to get more and more complicated.
It's going to get different. It's not linear. That is what I have learned to experience and accept, that you're like, yeah, I've got the swing of things, and you're like, want, something happens. And it's not necessarily a want always. And sometimes it's just a change. And it is not linear, and it's ups and downs.
All jokes apart, it's been amazing. Like, in a different, it's a whole together different experience. That's what it is. Something which you have not experienced before. You think like, you've done it all, like you've seen it all, but, like taking care of a small baby who is like just doesn't know anything, it's quite something. But I'm very impressed like with the things they already have learned in your womb, and they kind of know, which is less crazy, and they know how to feed. They figure it out. Actually, they don't know it, but they figure it out, and they are learning so quickly.
But they do know you because they can hear in there, and so hearing your voice, your smell, it's pretty amazing how intuitive certain things can be. Not everything, but certain things can be. So we're going to take another break. When we come back, what is one final tip or piece of advice you'd like to offer new and expectant parents? All right, think about that. We'll be right back.
As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why my Biz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with my Biz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit Verizon.com/business to get started today. New lines only. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes autopay and paper-free billing and promotional discount. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge. Applicable add-ons, prices, and terms apply. Guarantee applies to base monthly rate and stated discounts only. Add-on prices additional. Offers in January 5th, 2026.
Okay, we are back. So you can share anything about pregnancy, postpartum, so anything that you've learned along the way. One final tip or piece of advice you'd like to offer new and expectant parents.
Yeah. One tip will be for the pregnant women, right? Parents, like, enjoy how much ever you can because it's going to be a little difficult the upcoming couple of months, at least. And don't stress too much about like everything you hear or people say. Just know what you want and do your research and hope for the best, because I feel hoping for the best was the best thing to do. Because once you are positive, everything just falls in place. And whatever happens, it will be good.
Thank you for sharing that. I love the positive energy. So thank you for sharing that. And honestly, thank you for sharing your story. It's I hope those out there listening can feel your joy and your satisfaction. And I also appreciate that you shared about some of the anxiety, because it's real. I hate when people are like, you'll get through. Like, yeah, of course you'll get through it in some way, but the anxiety is real, and the unknown can be scary. And thank you for being open and vulnerable at that. And
one last tip.
Yes,
one
please.
last tip. Please have a community, just like Prenatal Yoga Center has. And please go to the yoga classes. They were the best because they told me not to exercise. I'm a very gym rat kind of a person. I used to lift very heavy, and I had a mild bleeding episode initially in the first trimester, so I was very worried and I started working out, and that made me depressed. But the yoga classes were something I was looking forward to every week, and it was so much fun to see all the pregnant women there. And
Oh my
they're
gosh,
doing it.
amazing.
Like, there were women coming at 40 weeks and doing it. And they were like inspiration for me. You are an inspiration for me, Deb. Thank
Oh
you
my
so much.
gosh. Thank you. I just got chills. Thank you. And thank you to your little one for putting up with this. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow in postnatal.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Take care.
All right. You are...
This has been an episode of Yoga Birth Babies, produced by Prenatal Yoga Center. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. I'm Deb Flaschenberg. Thanks for listening.